Hello everyone, this is part 11 of What If Naruto Failed and Chose a Different Path, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Hokage Tower Sunday afternoon. Naruto now wore a dark orange and shadowy black ninja outfit designed similar to make him somewhat look like Slade. He had the special braces on his arm that were 12 spikes that were 8 inches long per limb, along with dark grey metal braces outside of his scary looking clothing as well. He was getting 2 pictures instead of 1 as he filled out the proper form required in order to do that, so he could get 1 with the helmet or mask and 1 without. Right now he was not wearing a helmet in this one as he wanted his face to be seen if he were to ever be recognized by other Leaf Shinobi. Okay, here we go. By the way kid, if you don't mind me saying so, you look real badass both with and without the mask on your face, said the slightly well-rounded photographer who took the picture of a smirking Naruto. The third Hokage, upon reviewing the 2 pictures, was in awe at the look Naruto gave in each picture he was taken in. His ever-shiny sky blue eyes had a look that was the same as the 4th Hokage himself gave when he was a genin. They were looks that were in a way very commanding, piercing, and in the third's mind the eyes of a leader. I must say these pictures are very good, Naruto. They suit you perfectly with your ID card from what I'm seeing. Thank you Naruto, that will, said the third, but was interrupted by the door to the Hokage's left and Naruto's right opening with a boy holding a throwing star in his palm charging at the old man. Old man'll get you this time and then I'll become Hokage, said the boy as he charged towards the man, intent to take the man's life. Naruto would have tried to intervene if he didn't feel like this was below the old man or out of the boy's league, which was clearly the case as the boy barely got halfway across the room before he tripped on his own feet, landing face first onto the floor. You can't be serious. The kid has as much grace as a pebble being kicked on the ground, thought a sweat-dropping Naruto as the boy got up to look around before he saw Naruto and then was soon face to face with the boy. Hey, you jerk, you tripped me, said the boy, pointing a finger at Naruto, who was far from impressed at the kid's antics. Were you any better when you were younger, my boy? Thought Slade, who watching the whole ordeal through the boy's mind from his throne. Kid, I would never waste my time spinning someone like you. You tripped on yourself on the wooden floor due to your own stupidity. That, and you also lack the proper hand-eye coordination needed to run across the room, said Naruto, smirking at the boy who was glaring at him to no end. Honorable grandson, are you in here? Said another voice, looking around for his intended target. He's in here, Ebisu. Don't worry, he's all right. Just tripped and hurt himself, again, said the third. Honorable grandson, said Naruto, raising an eyebrow, wondering just who he was the honorable grandson to whom exactly. Yeah, I'm the grandson of the third Hokage, so you can't do anything to me or you'll get in trouble, said the boy, whose voice seemed to have a form of snobbishness attached to it. Go ahead Naruto, take him down a peg or 2. Show him he is not protected by any kind of privileges he may get from being the third's grandson, thought Slade through their mind link as he wanted this kid to learn to be strong. You have to earn it, the hard way. Naruto mentally nodded to his sensei and tenant before he quickly stood up and without saying anything punched the kid right on the head, knocking him out cold for a few good minutes. Kid, I don't care if he were your grandmother, I'll beat you down like any other person who pisses me off. If you'll excuse me old man, I have things to do, said Naruto, walking by a sighing Hokage and a still in shock Ebisu. That miserable fox'll get him for doing that to the Hokage's grandson, thought Ebisu before pushing his glasses up slightly before he realized the boy he was in charge of was no longer in the room. It appears Konohamaru has left to seek out Naruto, said the third, taking a small puff from his pipe despite it being in the morning. Oh no. If Konohamaru gets near the demon fox, then he may corrupt his innocent mind into that of pure evil. I must separate them, somehow, thought Ebisu, who left in pursuit of the 2. Konoha streets. Moments later, Naruto walked through the busy streets of Konoha, ignoring some of the glares sent his way, knowing that none of them could hurt him in the slightest. As he walked down one of the alleys, he noticed the terribly disguised boy trying to blend in with the wall. Kid, if you are going to blend in with a wall, try having it the right way, said Naruto, rubbing his temple slightly as this was quickly becoming a headache. You're strong, I can tell. Maybe you can train me, said Konohamaru, approaching Naruto, who looked at the boy with a raised eyebrow. Don't you already have a teacher? The one with glasses seemed to fit the bill from what I saw, said Naruto, putting his hands on his hips in a matter-of-fact way. Ebisu-sensei is all right, but he is always getting me to do all this boring ninja stuff that he keeps saying are all shortcuts for me to be Hokage, said Konohamaru, kicking a small rock on the road in a depressing tone. You don't approve of his methods because they are a shortcut. Or is it something else? Said Naruto, as he felt this kid in front of him was just like he was at that age, as the kid wanted recognition from others. I don't mind taking shortcuts, it is just that he sees me as the honorable grandson, and not as the real me. My name is Konohamaru, by the way, said Konohamaru, extending his hand for Naruto to shake, which Naruto did, smiling at the boy, liking him more and more. Hi Konohamaru, my name Uzumaki Naruto, and let me just say it is nice to meet a fellow ninja who wants to be Hokage, said Naruto, who found it funny the way the poor kid's jaw seemed to leave his body at hearing his name. You're the Uzumaki Naruto. The Naruto that beat a Chunin ninja, who beat the great Uchiha prodigy and the new Genin Inuzuka clan member Kiba in a 2-on-1 fight, and the same Uzumaki Naruto that made everyone, you know, said Konohamaru, who had to point to his butt for Naruto to get what the kid was talking about. Do you know any other Uzumaki Narutos that are in Konoha? Said Naruto, ruffling the kid's hair, much to the kid's dislike from the pout on Konohamaru's face. It wasn't really surprising that the two boys did not know each other, as Naruto had only stayed at the Hokage's mansion for just a few days, and when he came home Konohamaru was already in bed. As in the morning, Naruto was out the door before the Hokage's little grandson even woke up a good 3 hours later, around 9 a.m. The boy may be young, but like you Naruto, he has spirit and wants to be recognized by his peers as someone other than the Hokage's grandson, thought Slade, as he could see what Naruto saw when he looked into the boy's eyes. Thirst for acknowledgement. No, but this is all the more reason for you to train me. Come on boss, train me please, said Konohamaru, putting his hands together over his head in a semi-prayer form, making Naruto give him a tired look that nearly followed up with a sigh, but for some reason he pitied the boy for having such an ass of a trainer. All right Konohamaru, I will teach you some useful things, but only if you promise me on the honor as the grandson of the Hokage you will not teach these techniques or skills to anyone else you meet. Okay, said Naruto, his face becoming serious, though what he was going to teach the boy was anything, but unless you wanted to help women know who was a pervert and who was not. I swear it boss. Lead the way, said Konohamaru, who now followed Naruto through the busy streets of Konoha to a forest-surrounded clearing where Naruto knew they could not be disturbed by anyone. Meanwhile, Ebisu, the elite Junin and trainer, searched frantically for Naruto and Konohamaru, only to find they were nowhere to be found within the public areas of Konoha itself. Where did that demon fox take Konohamaru? If he hurts the boy in any way he will answer to me, said Ebisu from his position on a rooftop. With Naruto and Konohamaru 1 hour later. Konohamaru was panting heavily from constantly using so much of his chakra for such a technique that, according to Naruto, would knock the Hokage out almost instantly. Okay Konohamaru, give it a go just one more time, and remember it should reflect you as if you were an actual girl, said Naruto, who had to admit that after a couple dozen tries with the Seijutsu technique the kid was starting to show he had potential. Before Konohamaru could try it for the 36th time that day, Ebisu showed up, frowning if not scowling at Naruto with those cold eyes that the boy knew all too well. What do you think you are doing with Konohamaru? Said Ebisu, who sounded as serious as he looked angry at Naruto, who just looked at the older man as if what he said was of no importance. Boss is helping me train to beat my grandfather with this super cool technique he taught me, Seijutsu, said Konohamaru, turning into a nicely shaped woman similar to the one Naruto does, only with long brown hair. Ebisu was far from impressed and was even more furious that Naruto had taught such a technique to young Konohamaru. Such a disgusting jutsu will not work on me, as I am not like the others who have reacted to such a thing, said Ebisu, whose ego was slightly inflated when he said that. So what, are you gay or something? Said Naruto as Konohamaru disengaged the jutsu, making Ebisu fall down at such a statement. I am not gay. I just have more control over myself than most people do with their sick perverted urges, said Ebisu, standing up immediately from his fall and then regained his composure right after. Control of your urges, ha. Try this harem jutsu, said Naruto, producing multiple shadow clones that all performed the seijutsu technique that were all groping onto Ebisu, who after so much from the end female clones finally got a nosebleed. Wow boss, you rock, said Konohamaru as he was awed by the fact Naruto took down his teacher with such an advanced version of what was already taught to him. Thanks Konohamaru, but don't think these techniques are used as shortcuts to become Hokage, as there are no shortcuts. Anyone who would tell you that doesn't know what it means to work hard like you and me. The privilege of being the grandson of the third Hokage is nothing to embrace as a shortcut. It will merely turn you into an arrogant jerk like the Uchihas and some of the Hyugas are. Ask your grandfather about what I just told later and you'll see what I'm talking about. Until then I'll keep getting stronger just as I expect you to, said Naruto, giving the kid a thumbs up before he used the Flying Thunder God technique, vanishing in a blast of yellow, orange, and black light. Wow, boss is so cool. From now on he's going to be my rival. A way to measure myself for when I become Hokage, thought Konohamaru as he looked forward to future training in becoming Hokage. Konoha Ninja Academy Monday. The day for Genin team selection came sooner than expected for everyone, and all were anxious to see who would be paired with whom. Especially since one Uzumaki Naruto came back to Konoha making a statement that he was top dog. They had heard the rumors he defeated a Chunin ninja who was a ninja of the leaf turned traitor. They had seen the picture of what he looked like without the mask, much to the female half of the populace delight, and they had experienced just how strong he was by beating down two Genin easily without even trying. An experience that burned one Sasuke Uchiha and one Inuzuka Kiba up to no end, as it was humiliating for both of them. It didn't help for either of them that Sakura, who tried to defend only to fail miserably, making their feelings towards the humiliation worse. One by one the graduating class of this year's ninjas students entered and took seats at chairs they felt comfortable sitting in. As they finished they noticed that one Uzumaki Naruto was nowhere to be found, making Hinata as well as several other girls in the class worry about him. I wonder where that hunk Naruto is, said one girl to another as they started making conversation with each other. Yeah, I hope he's alright or he didn't get called away on some special mission before we have a chance to see him again, said the other worriedly, not realizing that a certain Hyuga girl who was twitching an eyebrow as she noticed both girls had stars and heart-shaped eyes sighing at the end of the dreamy thoughts of the boy. Must not yet, thought Hinata as she had to hold back the urge to hurt the girls several rows in front of her, as it would make her look bad in front of her Naruto-kun. Something wrong, Hinata, said a voice of a whisper into her ear that nearly made her scream had she not recognized the voice as Naruto's. Naruto-kun, said Hinata in a whisper as she didn't want the other girls to know he was in the class just yet, as she turned to look at him with a blush on her face. Naruto wore nearly all black today with the exception of several stays of orange from his upper body to the arms, and then to his shoulders like he was on fire. She saw his hair for the first time since yesterday that she saw his hair up close, and for her it was a sight truly to behold in her eyes. His strands upon strands of hair that were like lightning to her seemed to fill her with an electric energy just by being near him. At your service, milady, said Naruto, taking her hand once more before kissing it gently with his lips, making her blush even more before passing it in his arms. And Naruto-kun kissed my hand again, thought Hinata as she had a smile on her face as she fainted due to the conditions that caused the faint itself. As the two sat there hidden under the masking of Naruto's chakra, Iruka came in ready to announce the teams. All right everyone, I'm going to announce who is partnered with whom and who will be your sensei for your squad. Any questions? Said Iruka, knowing there should be, but was surprised when a hand went up. Iruka-sensei, you can't start yet, Naruto-kun isn't here yet, said one of the female ninjas in the class, who became slightly puzzled when the Chunin teacher gave a small chuckle. Oh really? Well, it just so happens he is up on the top row holding a now fainted Hyuga Hinata in his arms, said Iruka, pointing to Naruto, who whispered the words, traitor, to the man for blowing his cover. As expected, the female populace of the genin in the class squealed in delight knowing their Naruto-kun was safe and sound. It was another thing, however, when they glared at an unconscious Hyuga Hinata who was smiling, meaning she was somewhat aware of just who she was nestled against. If you are done being an ass, Iruka-sensei, could you just announce the teams? Don't make me come down there and mop the floor with you like I did to that so-called ninja of a traitor Mizuki, said Naruto, making everyone gasp as Naruto had just confirmed that the rumor was in fact true and that the traitor was Mizuki-sensei. Iruka sweated a little at the threat as he knew Naruto could and would back it up if he didn't continue. Very well Naruto, as I'm sure you like the rest of the class would like to know their partners, said Iruka as he went through teams in a boring manner, causing most people to drown him out till their names came up. Could he be any more boring? Damn, it's a shame he can't turn this into a jutsu. It would be really helpful down the road in a fight, thought Naruto as he nearly fell asleep till Team 7 was being called. Team 7, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, Sakura Squeals, and Uzumaki Naruto. Your sensei will be Hatake Kakashi, said Iruka, who felt sorry for Naruto as he knew from what he had been told that the three would not get along with one another as the two Naruto was paired with hated him as he hated them. Not to mention his new sensei wasn't going to be the nicest thing to happen to him since the man lost his sensei to Kyuubi, or rather Slade, as he had been told by Naruto after the confrontation with Mizuki. Hinata had woken up the instant that Naruto's name had been called, but now she wished she hadn't. She realized that from the look on his face that her Naruto had been placed on a very unforgiving team with two hate-filled genins and one teacher who, from what she had heard from Kurenai, did not speak well of Naruto. It's as if fate is creating walls to block his path, thought Hinata as she looked at his unhappy face. Team 8, Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame, and Hinata Hyuga. Your sensei will be Yuhi Kurenai, said Iruka, who saw the depressed look of Hinata and the happy look that was on Kiba's face while Shino was, well, Shino. Yes, Hinata is on my team. Take that, your multi-haired blue-eyed freak of nature. No wonder my parents call you a monster, because only a monster would look like you, said Kiba, who got a few whimper sounds from Akamaru telling him he should keep his mouth shut. He just signed his own death warrant, thought Shino as he felt the bugs in him stir like crazy as something was about to happen. And happened it did, as Akamaru, who sensed the danger before his so-called master did, leaped off Kiba's head. Kiba himself was so happy about what he did and who was on his team he failed to notice a black flaming hand grab his face, spin in a circle, and then slam him hard against the wall. After that, Naruto then grabbed the Inuzuka by the T with the same black-fired hand, squeezing the boy's T tightly. What is the term used these days? Oh yes, it's, let bygones be bygones. You should have learned that from the last time you tried to do something that insulted me. Yesterday I gave you a pass, Kiba, for that little situation we had at the training grounds. But don't think for a second that I will not hesitate to take you out. You so much as harass Hinata, I will know, and then you are going to suffer the worst beating of your life. Do you understand? Said Naruto in a sly, serious voice as his fist of the mortal flame attack was starting to cause serious harm to Kiba. Why yes, yes, said Kiba in a hoarse voice as he found it difficult to breathe whether he was in Naruto's grip or not, as he felt as if his lungs were on fire. Good. Sit down and shut up, said Naruto, dropping Kiba before heading back to his seat, receiving frightening looks from some of them, while others were in awe of him, and the rest, well, that would be Sasuke, hated him. He's used a technique I've never seen before. I have to be patient till I can copy it with my Sharingan and then use it against Naruto and then my brother later on, thought an angry Sasuke Uchiha, as he hated not having a technique like that, as his clan had been famous for mastering fire jutsus. During that entire time Iruka had been frozen in time at what he saw Naruto do, though he supposed it was Naruto no longer being the smiling idiot everyone had known him as for 11 years of his life. Now coming back to Konoha a year later completely transformed, it should not have been surprising that Naruto would change into something less nice. Considering where he went, nice is not a word there, and if it was it nice they have there would be considered cruel here. Now where was I? Was I on 9 or 10? Team 9 I think, thought Iruka, looking down at his clipboard for information before reading off Team 9 before going to Team 10. Team 10 is Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akamaki, and Ino Yamanaka. Your sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi, said Iruka, who was slightly glad that Naruto's little incursion on Kiba silenced everyone in the room, as he didn't want to hear the blonde-haired girl that was Ino start yelling at him. Shortly, one by one, the instructor came until only Team 7 remained with their supposed sensei nowhere in sight. About 2 hours later the Junin arrived, but when he stuck his head through the door he had to duck a dark flaming fireball aimed at his head. Judging from how close the attack was to hitting him, had he not moved sooner, Hatake Kakashi would have needed a wig or go around unnaturally bald for the rest of his life. My first impression of all of you is, I hate you with a purpose, said Kakashi, frowning at him, but more at Naruto the other two. Feelings mutual. You come to a team meeting late again and I will aim towards a lower part of your body. Much lower if you catch my drift, said Naruto, throwing up a fist of the mortal flame fireball in his hands, making Kakashi slightly nervous. Well, all things like lateness aside, meet me at training ground 4 in 5 minutes, if you can of course, said Kakashi before going, poof. Training ground 4 nearly 5 minutes later. Hey, loser, I want to ask you something, said Sasuke to Naruto while panting from running all the way to the training grounds. Naruto, who had his back turned toward the Uchiha, ignoring the insult made by the boy as he had other things to worry about. Uchiha, I do not have the time, patience, and out of or the desire to teach you anything, so why try to ask me a question when you already know the answer to it? Said Naruto as he was now sitting down in a meditative state on the ground waiting for Kakashi to arrive. How can anyone do this? I must be out of shape. Maybe I shouldn't have gone on that street yesterday, thought Sakura as she heard her stomach growl as she forced herself to miss breakfast this morning. As if to speak of the devil himself, Kakashi did show up reading his perverted book in his hands, looking as bored as ever. Good, you all made it. I was beginning to think that if you had not shown up I would have no choice but to fail you outright for missing out on this little survival training test I have for you, said Kakashi, holding 2 bells in his hands. What are they for, Kakashi-sensei? Said Sakura curiously, as there were 3 of them and only 2 bells. This is a little test to see who passes to become a true genin, while 1 or even 2 of you go back to the academy. You must try to take at least 1 bell from me in order to pass before lunchtime, or else you will fail, said Kakashi as he smiled at them, knowing that with the hatred they have for Naruto and Naruto for them, he could fail them and at the same time stick it to Fox inside Naruto. The instable genjutsu used on the Fox 12 years ago be damned. But it's nearly lunch now, said Sakura as her whining was getting on everyone's nerves as she wouldn't shut up. Normally for you I'm sure yes it would be, Sakura. However, for today lunch will not start for at least after 2 p.m. so I say you have a good 4 hours to stop me. If you pass we all sit down, eat lunch, and tell everyone about ourselves. Shall we begin? Go, said Kakashi, seeing Sasuke and Sakura hide while Naruto just sat there still in meditation form on the ground. What's he doing? Is he trying to lose? Thought Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi at the same time before Naruto slowly rose from his spot, cracking his N loudly. You know, if you're trying to hide in a genjutsu you're doing a pretty poor job, Naruto. To think the Hokage praises you for your skills. Maybe he is getting on in his years, said Kakashi as he taunted Naruto, who merely cracked his hands when making a fist with both of them. I know you don't intend for us to pass this exam, Kakashi-sensei, seeing as if you did think we had a chance you would have wanted to get to know us all better right from the start. From the way you're acting so lazy like you're one of the Naras, it clear you do not think too highly of us. Whispery voice, especially me, all things considered. My tenant, who was responsible for King your sensei, who was my father Kazama Arashi, that was the 4th Hokage. Speaking of him, if only he could see you here and now he would be ashamed to call you his student. You were nothing to him, but a failure in his eyes. Blue eyes, to be a little more precise, according to my information from the one who ked him, said Naruto, tapping his head several times, smiling at his sensei. Mind your tongue, Naruto, or I will remove it and claim it was an accident during the bell test, said Kakashi in an equally low whisper, cracking his hands as he remembered what the 4th Hokage saw in him, and it certainly wasn't a failure. You should take your own advice, Kakashi-sensei, but for now I will digress from it as it is a touchy subject for both of us. Instead I'll make you a deal. When I beat you, badly I might add, all by myself, you let all of us pass this so-called test of yours, said Naruto, getting into his fighting stance that was once his father's. What about if you lose? Said Kakashi calmly, though that stance Naruto was in haunted him even now as it reminded him too much of his sensei at the moment. Now who said I would lose to you, Kakashi-sensei? Said Naruto as he disappeared right in front of and reappearing behind Kakashi, who was surprised at the boy's speed. Kakashi spun around trying to backhand or elbow the kid, trying to fend off the kid before he could try to take the bells or get in a cheap shot. Naruto just leaped out of the way casually as if the Junin's speed was slow in comparison. How can he move that fast? Thought Kakashi along with the other two genin watching the whole battle between the two progress as Naruto just smirked at his adversary who put away his perverted book to get serious. Really Kakashi, I expected more from the son of the White Fang. Don't tell that you've gotten soft with that eye you have covered. Is it the only thing that has allowed you to win your fights over the years? Said Naruto taunting Kakashi making the Junin very angry. If you are so confident of your abilities then maybe I shouldn't be holding it back so we can test this little theory of yours, said Kakashi raising his headband revealing his own Sharingan eye. Whether you have it or not it makes doist not make a damn bit of a difference Kakashi-sensei. I have seen the best, I have trained with the best, and I have become one of the best. You are clearly an overgrown child with a toy for an eye, said Naruto hitting a very sour note on Kakashi's pride and ego. By this point Kakashi was done talking and charged Naruto with everything he had trying to block, copy, and counter any of the moves that Naruto might use on him. Surprisingly for the Junin that was Kakashi Uzumaki Naruto was not attacking him, but just blocking his kick-punch combos with his eyes closed making any chance of copying him or seeing his next move impossible. How can he do this constantly with his eyes shut? Is the fox demon inside of him helping somehow? Thought Kakashi as Naruto blocked a right kick and grabbed it with his left arm before hitting Kakashi in the face in a surprise move with a right open palm thrust to the jaw sending the Junin into the air several feet before he came back down, hard. All Kakashi could do was stare upward for what seemed to be forever as the sound of Naruto's footsteps came closer to him. He hadn't been beaten this bad so easily since he was a genin and even then Arashi had been merciful to him by hitting him gently. This kid is so strong. Thought Kakashi as he felt like he was nearly on the verge of blacking out from the strength Naruto put into that blow. Now's my chance to take that loser down and show him just who is last and who is the best ninja here, thought Sasuke as he moved into position going over the hand signs that he would soon be using in his head. Come on Kakashi-sensei, don't tell me you are going to pull a Nara and just stare into the clouds all day. Said Naruto walking forward his eyes now open again as he walked towards the downed teacher for the two bells. Before he could get there though Sasuke appeared from the side of him and instead of trying to get a bell like a smart person would Sasuke started going through hand signs. Fire style, great fireball jutsu. Said Sasuke before inhaling a big breath of air before sending large fireball at Naruto who sent his hand with his palm open to meet it stopping the fireball in its place as it touched his hand. Could you explain to me exactly just what was the purpose behind that technique you just used on me Sasuke? Said Naruto as he watched Sasuke let go of the jutsu seeing as he was too shocked to continue it. That's not possible. That attack should have incinerated you, said Sasuke angrily as he was not getting the results he wanted against Uzumaki Naruto. Should have, could have, but did not as you can plainly see. If I did not know any better Sasuke Uchiha I would think such an attack was an act of treason against a fellow shinobi comrade. Not befitting for an Uchiha prodigy, I would imagine, said Naruto earning a hate-filled glare from Sasuke who went on the assault against Naruto who had blocked the first punch aimed at him before he spun around to his right elbowing the Uchiha in the end knocking him out. Sasuke-kun. Said Sakura running from her hiding spot to help her fallen crush only to be kneed in the stomach by Naruto as he wanted her down and out for this so he could continue his fight without distraction. You know that you just sunk your possibilities as a genin along with your teammates Naruto, said Kakashi getting up from the ground a part of him happy that he would inform the Hokage that the boy would have to go back to the academy for another year. Actually it's not sunk in the slightest Kakashi-sensei. Under Kohono Ninja Bylaws P.60, Paragraph 5, Section 2, and I'll quote it. A ninja who is ranked as a genin who has been a ninja for more than a year whether within Kohono or not due to special training cannot be sent back to the academy by his team's sensei. To do so would accuse the sensei who is in charge of the genin or a genin team that he or she is on of poor performance on the sensei's part. End quote, said Naruto smiling at a stunned Kakashi. Naruto's right. I can't fail him or his teammates. Even if I could fail him I would have to face the unrelenting wrath of both the Hokage and the council because by sending one of the genin back I would have to send back the other two back as well. Meaning I would be accused of stunting the growth of last member of the Uchiha clan and the daughter of one of the council members not to mention Arashi's son. Even if he does hold Arashi's cur at bay, somewhat, thought Kakashi, his fist tightening, knowing Naruto had him to rights. So do you still think you can send me back to the academy? If you did with the others, it would show not only that you have no love for me due to your current conduct, but you are being unfair to the Uchiha and the pink-haired Haruno, whose hot-tempered mother just so happens to be on the council. So from how I see things, you have only one choice left, said Naruto, getting into fighting stance. You're right. My only option left is to fight you, and when I defeat you, Naruto, you will go back to the academy regardless of the bylaws, said Kakashi, as he was now through with Naruto's current actions, as he had every intent of sending this kid to the hospital or the morgue, and frantically, he really didn't care which it was. Deal. Now stop talking and let's go, said Naruto, moving in for a full-on taijutsu spar with Kakashi, who obliged with meeting him halfway. Naruto tried connecting first with a hard right fist that Kakashi blocked with his left arm before he aimed a kick to Naruto's head that Naruto grabbed and countered with a throw. Kakashi spun in midair and landed on his feet, only to duck down to dodge a spin kick from Naruto, who took off a few strands of the Junin's hair. That was too close for comfort, thought Kakashi, replacing himself with a log to get away from Naruto in the forest area. Kakashi. Oh Kakashi. Come out to play. Kakashi, come out to play, said Naruto, echoing his voice all around Kakashi, making the Junin nervous, feeling he wasn't safe where he was. Kakashi looked left, right, and below before he realized that out of all the places to look, he failed to look up. Remember, Kakashi, human beings, whether ninja or other, almost never look up. Keep that in mind, as someday you will have to face an attacker or attack coming at you from above you rather than the other possible ways, were the words that echoed from Arashi, turning a training session like this back when he was still a genin. Kakashi looked up and got away as Naruto came at him with his sword, cutting the branch the Junin was once on, off, leaving only just enough room for Naruto to stand on the horizontal stump. I see you listen to my father's words. Had you forgotten my team would have needed a new sensei for our genin team, said Naruto as he was putting away his prized sword before leaping at Kakashi, intending to finish this before the game was over. Kakashi moved out of the way to avoid a punch that set the area of the tree he hit into mere splinters of wood that were the shadows of its former self. Think real fast, real quick, Kakashi, or else you are going to find yourself having more things in common with that dismembered tree than you do a human being, thought Kakashi, as he was starting to tire from using his Sharingan for too long and was losing chakra fast. What wrong, sensei? Worrying about losing doesn't matter, as I already have the bells in my possession, said Naruto, showing that he did in fact have them. What? When did you get them? How did you get them? Said Kakashi, as he was so shocked by this, knowing that Naruto not only took the bells from him, but at the same time could have ended his life without hesitation. Oh, I got 'em a while back during our spar, right when I threw you, though you did not notice because you spun too fast in midair to counter the throw to land on your feet. As to how exactly, well, let's just say that having slayed in me very beneficial. As for failing the other two of my teammate for not doing anything, well, I think it would be kind of hard to fail them when I give them each a bell for them to pass, and seeing as the two will have passed and you can't get rid of me, I would say Team 7 is official now, right? Said Naruto, smiling as two foxes appeared, each taking one of the bells to give to Sasuke and Sakura. Size, right, Naruto. Let's go wake up the other two up and make it official for them so they don't worry about it. I have to make sure we give proper introductions to each other now that we're an official team, said Kakashi, as he nodded to Naruto as the foxes left for their intended targets while he put his ninja headband down to reserve what little chakra he had left. Oh, we'll have proper introductions for each other, all right. I'll make sure of it, thought Naruto as he gathered strength into his Jaganai, now pulsing with anticipation of being open again. Moments later, both Sasuke and Sakura both woke up nearly at the same time, both feeling pain in their body from either their stomach or their My stomach. I think I'm going to puke, said Sakura, and sure enough she did, as the blow she had received from Naruto came back to her mind, causing her to remember the impact and thus making her stomach react as well. Damn that Naruto. When I see him I'm going to pound that loser into his grave 6 feet into the ground, said Sasuke as his was hurting when he moved it. Oh really? Is that any way to say thank you to the guy who helped you pass? Said a now smiling Naruto as he pointed to the two bells on the ground in front of them. Wait, doesn't that mean you fail while we advance to becoming genin? Said Sakura as she couldn't believe Naruto would help them when they had been so mean to him. Nope. Since the objective was for us to use teamwork, we passed if just barely, though it's no real surprise since it was a bit involuntary and a slightly frictional type of teamwork. Kakashi-sensei considers it to be teamwork all the same, so we passed, said Naruto, who before they could answer him revealed his Jaganai, much to both of their and Kakashi's surprise. What the hell is that thing? Thought the three as the eyes glowed a now turquoise color before it wrapped them in a demonic jutsu of Naruto's own design. Jaganai secret art, demonic mind mirage genjutsu, said Naruto as he let the Jaganai take them through the mental illusion that they had all passed with teamwork, thus making Kakashi pass them. Naruto knew that everyone here was less than thrilled to be on a team with him and that getting to know each other would have been more of a hassle than it sounded. So instead of entering verbal hostile territory in the condition the two grouchy genin and one lazy one-eyed Junin were now, Naruto decided to use a different approach. He let his Jaganai now in their heads started examining them and their mental state before making them each speak the words that they would picture themselves saying. That way they would have no problem believing what they were saying as if the event that was placed in their heads was true. Naruto went through each of them quickly, working on the names, dislikes, and other things they would say when they went to tell him or the others about themselves. For Sakura it's her name, which is Haruno Sakura, her likes being Sasuke, her dislikes are a rival for Sasuke named girl named Ino and me for hurting him, and her dreams for the future are settling down with Sasuke. Let's see for Kakashi-sensei, his name being Hatake Kakashi, his like, he's too lazy to tell them, same with his dislikes, and for his dreams, none of our business seems appropriate, said Naruto as he played the scenario out in their minds as they stood there under the gaze of the demonic genjutsu. Hurry up my boy, this take a great deal of mental capacity to handle and you're running a little thin, thought Slade as he monitored the boy's progress on the mental picture screen, seeing the boy's mental energies being pushed to create such a genjutsu illusion on two genin and one junin. Now for Sasuke, his name is Uchiha Sasuke, his likes, none, dislikes, everyone, and his dreams for the future. Interesting, so you want to kill your brother, eh? Good enough for me. Now to implant my likes and other such things into their heads, said Naruto, telling him about his likes for ramen, Hinata-chan, and his yearning to learn new jutsus, not telling them his dislikes and telling them how he wanted to become Hokage someday. With that done, he closed the Jaganai and covered it with both the standard and ninja headbands to conceal his little secret from the rest of the world before fatigue slowly started to sweep over him. As it did so, within mere moments the group that was under the demonic genjutsu recovered themselves from the dazed spell, only to see a now panting heavily with sweat Naruto as the drainage he put himself under was really tearing him up. Naruto, are you okay? Said Kakashi as he found it odd that Naruto would be fatigued by something, as he had enough stamina that would put all the Junin and Anbu to shame. Yeah, I'm fine. I just tired myself out using one of my family's jutsus after our get to know each other talk, and it took a lot out of me, lied Naruto as he was starting to see more than two of each of them. Damn it, Naruto. You really pushed yourself in using your Jaganai's mental energies today, thought Slade as he left his cell for the outside world to watch over his vessel. Just as Naruto was about to collapse from his fatigue, Slade appeared in his usual flame-like entrance, catching the boy before he fell. His sudden appearance had scared Sakura and Sasuke while earning a small scowl of suspicion from Kakashi. I will take Naruto home as he needs his rest. Today has been very exhausting, as I'm sure he would like to recover what strength he lost, said Slade before disappearing with Naruto in the flames he entered with. Kakashi-sensei, who was that? Said Sakura, hoping Kakashi would answer her question even though it looked like he may not. His name is Slade Sakura. He's a very dangerous man. He also just so happens to be Naruto's legal guardian and sensei when I'm not around, said Kakashi, knowing if he told him any more he could expect himself to be killed shortly by the order of the third Hokage for breaking the S-class law. So that's his sensei. Maybe he can teach me a few things, thought Sasuke as he felt the urge to acquire power to kill his brother kick in. Hokage's Tower Elders meeting room mid-afternoon. The elders were less than pleased by the news that Naruto passed the examinations, but were even more furious that the demon boy had somehow converted both members of the esteemed Inuzuka and Yamanaka in their minds to his side. He must be stopped in some manner, but how? Said Mitokado Homura as he read the report from both clans, not happy with what he read. If we are to do this, we must do it carefully. I say we that if it wants to go on missions for Kohono then let it, but they will be of the dangerous to near impossible ones. The QB will take care of our enemies for us and then one day be killed by one of them so we will not have to worry about the demon anymore, said Danzo, who found it most interesting as well as suspicious that the demon vessel that was Naruto would have only one hand bandaged with chakra-filled bandages for reserves and not have it with the other arm. We can't do that till he is ranked a Chunin and by then his strength would be far greater than he is now. If he is sent on a mission we must do it now with his genin team, said Utatane Koharu as she sipped some of her tea as she saw the picture of what Naruto now looked like, and seeing him with multiple colored streaks of hair on his head didn't go well in her mind about the boy. But in doing so we lose the last Uchiha in Kohono, as well as the Haruno girl, and let's not forget about the prized Junin that is Hatake Kakashi, the son of the White Fang. He is also technically the only other Sharingan user in Kohono other than Sasuke Uchiha. If we lose him we also lose a great asset to Kohono's military strength needed to protect its people, said Homura, trying to see if such an act would require the loss of those three to help K the demon vessel. For this to work we'll monitor all of the missions the demon does with his team and then when we feel the moment is right. At that moment we will see to it that the next mission he gets is harder than expected, that will make him unprepared for the ordeal, killing him or injuring him to a degree that he can be killed, said Danzo, smiling as would savor the moment where he would K the QB and in his moment of triumph take the Hokage position from the third with the support of nearly all the elders in both shinobi and village ranks to take the village over. Elsewhere, Hokage's mansion, Naruto's room. Several hours later, Naruto was violently shaken awake by an angry-looking Slade whose scowl would have been apparent on his face beyond the mask if the look in his eye was any indication. "What's wrong, Slade-sensei?" said Naruto as he didn't understand why his sensei and legal guardian was upset, as it had been an agreed-upon decision by him, Dragona, and Slade to use the Jaganai in the first place. "What's wrong? You nearly got caught today exposing your Jaganai for too long, thus leaving you vulnerable to the Uchiha, Haruno, and the Hatake to examine you to find some sort of weakness or possibly try to K you. What do you think would have happened had I not been there to save you?" said Slade. His anger-filled voice was holding nothing back at how displeased he was in Naruto's lack of strength with the Jaganai. "I'm sorry, Slade-sensei, but ever since we got back from Demon World I haven't really had time to practice the genjutsu with the Jaganai to such a degree, seeing as I have to keep it under low profile so that I look remotely human. You know that," said Naruto as he was now nearly yelling at the Demon Lord, trying to get his point across. "Sighs, Naruto, eventually you will have to expose the Jaganai in combat situations if needed, or you will have to do something that requires using the abilities given to you that are beyond human. If you are afraid that they will fear you for what you are and lose any chance of them being friends, then stop. They are not your friends if they don't believe you to be you and not something else that you are not," said Slade before patting the boy on the head. "Thanks, Slade-sensei, you're right. I have been afraid of what they will think of me. Well, if they do hate me then screw them for being arrogant jerks. I already have the Hokage and Hinata, so for me that is all that matters," said Naruto, sensing Slade was smiling at him despite the man's mask from showing it. "What about me? Aren't I your friend, Naruto-kun?" said Dragona, speaking outside of his body through his arm in his bandages, making the boy nearly jump in surprise. "Oh, of course, Dragona, I'm sorry if I left you out, it's just I meant human-wise I had all the friends I needed. As for demons, demon lords, and dark dragons goes, I'm good in that department as it is," said Naruto, smiling at his arm that pulsed with happiness. "That's better. But from now on only call me Dragona when we're alone. When we're talking in public just simply call me Queen," said Dragona, smiling seductively in his mind as she moved her dark aura in a seductive way around Naruto's spirit, making the boy shiver. "Easy, Dragona, remember that such a relationship is limited. Besides, I have Hinata-chan now," said Naruto as his hand was shaking slightly from the output of energy she was using on him through his own arm. "She doesn't know that, and until she does I consider you like most of the young female half of the Kohono populace open game. Maybe you should tell the girl how you feel," said Dragona, whispering even more seductively into his mental ear that made him shiver even more. "Yeah, I think I will, but in the meantime can you let me rest? My body is still tired from using all that mental power with the Jaganai even when I stored power into it," said Naruto, yawning tiredly before going to sleep on his bed. "Very well, Naruto, get some rest. However, I expect you up extra bright and extra early tomorrow morning for a longer period of training before you go on missions with your squad." Meaning more chakra control exercising for you first thing to make up for that little mess up from yesterday, said Slade before walking out of the room to the kitchen to get something to drink before going to see the Hokage about what transpired earlier. Well, at least things couldn't get any worse. Right, thought Naruto, sleeping in his bed unaware of the council's plot to destroy him or Sasuke's scheming to learn what Slade had already taught him. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.